Welcome to the AI Ireland podcast, your window into the world of AI innovation on the island of Ireland. Join us as we explore how AI is harnessed to tackle both business and societal challenges, revealing the cutting-edge solutions emerging from this vibrant AI community. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and insights in the world of AI. Hello everybody, it's Mark Kelly, founder and CEO of AI Ireland. In the run-up to the AI Awards last year in 2023, we had the opportunity to catch up with Gilyana and discuss her application for this year's AI Awards, where she was nominated for a Women in AI Person of the Year category. And Gilyana is going to give us a little bit of an overview about some of the work that she does at Icon Clinical, where she's a data science manager working within clinical trials and being able to actually apply AI to add massive value within the healthcare area. Gilyana, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast today.
Hi, Mark. Yes, thank you for having me. And it was a pleasure to participate in AI Awards 2023. So, as you said, I'm a data science manager at Icon PLC. And for people who don't know Icon is a clinical research organization with a home base in Dublin, but it's an international organization. So, with over 40,000 staff now, covering a variety of areas in clinical development, providing services to pharmaceutical and biotechnology companies in this space, and eventually with a mission to accelerate delivery of drugs to patients. So, and in my capacity of working at Icon PLC, so I'm involved in developing solutions to optimize operational delivery of clinical trials. And probably one of the big successes of my career as a data scientist is development of Icon's OneSearch site selection tool, which is used, as you can guess from the name, for selection of sites which will be contacted to participate in clinical trials. And this is a solution which is live and used by business more than 3 years now. And I was with this seeing the solution from infancy, from covering this idea for machine learning part of it, and all the way to development and delivering it to business. And in the course, we can see that it had a drastic effect. So probably combination of machine learning insights and business process redesign, because of that, delivered more than we basically quoted two main KPIs in this area, business KPIs, which actually translates into much faster site selection, which has effect on study startup, better quality of sites, eventually accelerating clinical trials and saving a lot of money in the process. So that's just one example.
Yeah, Gilyana, if we just take a step back, so when people think of clinical trials and you're bringing drugs to the market to help people, this would be historically a very manual, labored effort in terms of repetition and work that have to be actually put into place, and obviously a very, very costly experience too. And with that can come errors, and by the time the actually drug gets to the market, it can be a very, very long process. Tell us a little bit how you're able to look at the different processes that you do and make it more efficient, but also enable these drugs to go to the market sooner.
Yes, so basically, we as a company not developing new drugs ourselves. We are providing services for pharma and biotech companies who actually develop compounds. And when these compounds go into phase of being trialed in humans, that's where companies as Icon, and Icon is a leading clinical research organization, step in. So, and we step in by potentially helping companies to develop protocols for clinical trials. But my part of work concerns more of how you can start and deliver clinical trials the most efficiently. And as I was saying a bit earlier, one of the components is when you start a trial, you need to select sites which will participate in the trial. And one of the biggest challenges of clinical trials is patient recruitment. If you don't recruit patients, you will not succeed with the trial. You might have the best compound possible, but you won't have enough data with statistical power to prove that this is efficient new compound. So therefore, and patient recruitment is very tightly linked to selecting best sites. And historically, site selection in our industry was a process, as you alluded, which was quite manual. It has many components which actually kind of humans with experience pick up. And because humans are such creatures that they don't deal very well with multidimensional data, human experts on the one side have a lot of experience. On the other side, it's beyond their capacity, especially under time pressure, to consider a lot of variables and a lot of parameters. And this is where AI and machine learning can come to bear, because it can help and kind of augment what humans can do by considering a lot of different parameters and very quickly surfacing that information, helping decision maker. And that's exactly the system which we developed. We decided with OneSearch, we decided we'll combine the best of two. We'll combine our internal human knowledge and expertise and the data which we can kind of connect together with the power of AI and machine learning in order to produce a system which will allow us to systematically, very efficiently select best possible sites for new trials. And this system is now 3 years in usage. So ICON was actually first CRO which introduced such solution. And we see amazing business results in terms of time saving, cost saving, and increased main KPIs on patient
So
enrollment.
let's go into a little bit of detail on that in terms of the time saving, cost savings, and that kind of customer experience.
Yes. So basically, in this customers come to us asking. So basically, they have a certain compound. They potentially might have a protocol which kind of they want to run in a clinical trial, and that goes as a kind of at the very early stages to the team, which is called feasibility and site identification. So they basically assess this protocol, look at what kind of therapeutic areas and indication and what kind of patient profile would be needed for these trials. And then they go and select sites which would match this trial well. So with our OneSearch solution, we actually brought all the different data sets from within ICON and from outside sources in one place. And we allow humans to review this data and then use power of machine learning to select sites which would be potentially historically have experience in these particular indications and proven, like sometimes you might even have metrics that they were really good at recruiting patients. And human users are presented with like on a press of a button, presented with a list of AI recommendations on which sites would be the best kind of fit. And of course, because it's very important, we always know that there is limitation. Machine learning can only deal with information which is in the database. Therefore, we have an option for humans to either accept that proposal or reject it. So, and after humans review these results, in most cases, they accept what probably machine learning recommends. Then it goes into the next phase of the product of outreach to these sites. Eventually, these will be the sites, clinical sites, where medical professionals, like principal investigators of clinical trials, will recruit patients and conduct clinical trial.
So when we look at time saving, cost savings, better outcome, how did you manage all the data, getting access to the correct data, cleaning the data, choosing the correct model to choose, and then actually are you putting it on the cloud? Have you got a kind of an on-prem? How do you manage all that process?
Yeah, so we knew what kind of data we will have access. So we have our own operational data, and which ICON has plenty. And plus we have obviously some industry like sources, like kind of pay for service sources. And we were able to obviously integrate all that data, have some deduplication and some kind of data improvement initiatives to make sure that it's all not messy, because as you know, when you integrate several data sources, you might have a lot of issues out of that. And the system itself, as I said, basically has built in some mechanism to deal. We accept that the data in some cases will be messy. So we introduced as part of the solution some of the mechanisms of kind of like, removing some like tails in data and so on, so to try to improve our data quality. And another big limitation we knew would be that we probably will not have past performance metrics on many sites. So we took that as a constraint and really were kind of stepped back and thought, how can we develop a solution where we cannot just directly relate on historical data, but we still want to make judgments about whether a particular site will be a good fit or not. So that, from the machine learning perspective, if for people who are interested, led us to abandon idea of using any supervised machine learning methods. So purely supervised based on historical data, because that would have drastically reduced our universe of data available for our models. And we decided, again, that was quite a new approach, kind of probably to that type of problem in the industry, to just utilize unsupervised learning methods, which would be more akin to like customer segmentation in commerce, and apply that to our data and come up with a system which will judge sites based on unsupervised learning. So that at the time was quite unusual departure, but it was something which we decided to do to address the data limitations. So that's
Where do you? So you mentioned you're 3 years into this. How do you now look to build on or go to the next step? It wouldn't be a proper podcast without talking about generative AI and me with a hammer trying to pick generative AI as the proper tool for it. Is there an opportunity to use generative AI to add even more value here? I would have thought there'd be an opportunity from kind of taking the data and actually generating new insights, but again, interested to see what you're looking to do with it.
Yeah, we as a company actively in a stage of actively exploring generative AI, which most popular companies do right now. I think we are approaching it kind of fast but careful, because first of all, we are in a type of highly regulated industry, and for companies like Icon, reputation is must. So therefore, we have all these kind of frameworks for assessing where we can use generative AI, what kind of data sources we can use for it, and kind of to protect also our kind of data, what kind of data we can put in. So we're actually probably much more restricted than many other kind of businesses in what we can put. And of course, we cannot use public generative AI for these engine purposes because of our data restrictions. But we are looking, and we think that, yes, exactly as you said, a lot of possibilities comes from probably not to use it as a tool which will address all our problems, but maybe engineer certain additional variables which would be difficult to otherwise get in. So that's one of the applications of Gen AI. We're considering another applications probably with, this kind of with RAG systems, basically using on our data, developing our kind of internally stored vector stores and kind of on the documentation, and then using the power of Gen AI to actually kind of get information from our data, not from this kind of whole corpus which is outside.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Many things and many challenges ahead.
Yeah, because even on the scenario planning, like if you're talking to an OpenAI type of model, or and again, you obviously have to be very careful what you're going to put into that, but you could say that this is our current process. What ways could we improve this process, or what scenarios are we not thinking about that maybe we could? I think that's a very simplified version, but you could get different perspectives and opinions that suddenly might re-engineer how you're doing things. That could save time or money, or in a variety of different ways. But like healthcare, similar to financial services, it's a very, very highly regulated industry, so there's certain constraints that you have to work within. But I'm absolutely fascinated to see what that's gonna like in terms of research for this year ahead, and the practical ability for maybe this time next year when we chat about it. We go into detail.
Can I do one notice? One kind of note on Gen AI. I think like right now we're exploring many things, as I said, as many companies, and looking at possibilities, how it especially potential going into future, how it will probably disrupt our business models. But I think one important thing to kind of to keep, at least for us, that with Gen AI and all the offerings in that space developing so quickly, if one were to try to develop some model and base enterprise level solution, which is supposed to work for some time, one of the current probably kind of things which would limit that, we could expect that whatever kind of gateways into interacting with these models will be changing very quickly, and probably a lot of vendors, though they say now that they will support certain kind of configurations, will very quickly abandon and move, because it's about moving forward. So if we as an enterprise try to develop model which actually will rely on some, say, certain setup through which we can access, that's something kind of to think about. And I think many people right now is not giving that enough consideration. I think right now we're in the time when it would be great to use some Gen AI capabilities for projects which are like months or 2 months. You can just, based on current kind of architecture, go in, explore data which you want, get out. But like, if you were to try to develop a system which similar to OneSearch, you expect to work for years, one will need to expect to put engineering talent on hold, so that everything, all your connectors will be changing all the time. I think that's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't, because it's very technical aspect, it's not, it doesn't features in a lot of discussions with this, with something so bleeding edge. You cannot expect that it will be stable. I think that's my personal, as a person, as you asked me at the beginning, because I do also a lot of teaching and kind of mentoring. I think that's where I'm coming from. Because like developing solution for like which works in business for years, I can see even our solution is based, you asked earlier, is based on cloud, so in AWS cloud. And even though we are using something which is quite mature, we are forced by the cloud provider from time to time to upgrade certain components. It's a tier 1 business application. It's supposed to run day in, day out. So you have this kind of part of there is exciting part of developing new solution, and there is this part of actually making it to work in a stable way.
Yeah,
so that's for Gen
exactly.
AI, we are not yet there, I think, as a field.
And as companies research it and then make the decision to buy off the shelf or actually put it into process themselves, it is a very, very big decision. And the build and buy and maintenance is a huge, crucial decision, because it costs so much money. And this year, by the end of it, who knows where we're actually going to be. Thank you very much for your time today. We've been speaking to Gilyana Borlikova, Data Science Manager at Icon, who was nominated as a finalist for this year's Women in AI Awards, or AI Awards 2023. Thank you very much for your time today, Gilyana.
Thank you.
I'm really, really excited to unveil a new book, AI Unleashed, Navigating the AI Revolution as a Business Executive, which is now accessible to purchase on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. This publication is the fruit of half a decade's worth of meticulous research and high-level conversations with experts in the field, both in Ireland and globally. The book is particularly timely, featuring current discussions on AI governance in the European Union and North America. If you're aiming to grasp the full scope of AI, ready your enterprise for its transformative power, and utilize it to your advantage, this book is specifically crafted for you. It serves as a pragmatic guide, clarifying misconceptions and presenting real-world insights for leaders entering the AI sphere. The book covers an extensive array of subjects, from AI's role in diverse industries to generative AI applications, and provides guidance on avoiding typical missteps in AI initiatives, all supported by the most recent studies. Additionally, the book highlights case studies and applications that have earned accolades at AI awards throughout the years and emphasize top-notch AI utilization in Ireland. For executives, poly-architects, or technology aficionados seeking to make sense of the intricate world of AI, AI Unleashed, Navigating AI Revolution is your essential handbook. So it's now available on Amazon. This book furnishes you with the expertise and instruments required to deploy AI both effectively and ethically.